to Spinning Iris. It is day 8 of Banned Book Month, which means it is time for Chapter 8 of Candide by Voltaire. Now, the last we left Candide, he had been nursed back to health by an old woman who took him to a house that revealed to have Cunegonde living within it. And how she is alive, we were about to find out. Now, like for Chapter 3, there's a little bit of a warning here. There are some difficult descriptions of the effects of war on non-combatants. So if that you're a little squeamish or not comfortable with those sorts of descriptions, you can go to this number here and listen to the rest of the chapter. Are you ready? Let's go. Chapter 8. Cunegonde's Story. I was in my bed sleeping soundly when it pleased heaven to send the Bulgars to our beautiful castle of Thundertentronckh. They butchered my father and brother and cut my mother to pieces. A big 6-foot Bulgar saw that I'd fainted at the sight and began raping me. That brought me back to my senses. I screamed, struggled, bit, clawed, and tried to scratch his eyes out, not knowing that everything happening in my father's castle was quite customary. The brute stabbed me on the left side. I still have the scar. "Oh, I hope I'll see it," exclaimed the naive Candide. "You will," said Cunegonde, "but let me go on." "Please do," said Candide. She resumed her story. A Bulgar captain came in and saw the blood streaming from me. The soldier paid no attention to him. The brute's lack of respect for him made the captain angry, so he killed him while he was still on me. Then he had my wounds dressed and took me to his quarters as a prisoner of war. I washed the few shirts he had, and did his cooking. I must confess that he found me very pretty, and I won't deny that he was a handsome, well-built man with soft white skin. But he had little intelligence, and knew little about philosophy. It was easy to see that he hadn't been brought up by Dr. Pangloss. 3 months later, he'd lost all his money, and became tired of me, so he sold me to Don Issachar, a Jew who traded in Holland and Portugal, and was passionately fond of women. Don Issachar took a great liking to my person, but he was unable to triumph over it. I resisted him better than I had the Bulgar soldier. A lady of honor may be raped once, but it strengthens her virtue. To make me more compliant, he brought me to this country house. Till then, I'd thought there was nothing on earth so beautiful as the castle of Thundertentronckh. I saw that I was wrong. One day the Grand Inquisitor noticed me at Mass. He stared at me for a long time and sent word to me that he had some secret matters to discuss with me. I was taken to his palace. I told him of my birth, and he pointed out to me how degrading it was for a lady of my rank to belong to an Israelite. It was then suggested to Don Issachar that he should cede me to his eminence. Don Issachar, who's the court banker and a man of influence, flatly refused. The Inquisitor threatened him with an auto de fe. Finally, Don Issachar, intimidated, made a bargain whereby the house and I belonged to both of them in common, to him on Mondays, Wednesdays, and the Sabbath, and to the Inquisitor on the other days of the week. The agreement has been in effect for 6 months now, but not without quarrels, because it's often been undecided whether the night between Saturday and Sunday belongs to the old law or the new. For my part, I've resisted them both so far, and I think that's why I've always been loved. Finally, to ward off the scourge of earthquakes and intimidate Don Issachar, the Inquisitor decided to celebrate an auto de fe. He did me the honor of inviting me to attend it. I had a very good seat. Refreshments were served to the ladies between the Mass and the executions. To tell you the truth, I was horrified when I saw them burn those 2 Jews and that honest Biscayan who had married the godmother of his godchild. But imagine my surprise, my terror, my agitation when I saw a man who looked like Pangloss wearing a San Benito and a mitre. I rubbed my eyes and looked carefully. I saw him hanged. I fainted. I'd scarcely recovered when I saw you stripped naked. I was overcome with horror, consternation, sorrow, and despair. Let me tell you truthfully that your skin is even whiter than my Bulgar captain's, and has a more perfect bloom. This sight doubled all the emotions that were crushing me, consuming me. I cried out. I tried to say, "Stop, barbarians," but my voice failed me. Anyway, my cries would have been useless. When you'd been thoroughly flogged, I said to myself, How can it be that the charming Candide and the wise Pangloss have come to Lisbon? One to receive 100 lashes, the other to be hanged by order of his Eminence the Inquisitor, who loves me dearly. I see now that Pangloss cruelly deceived me when he told me that all was for the best in this world. I was agitated and frantic, sometimes beside myself, sometimes ready to die of faintness, and my mind was filled with the slaughter of my parents and my brother, the insolence of that horrible Bulgar soldier, the knife wound he gave me, my servitude, my work as a cook, my Bulgar captain, my horrible Don Issachar, my abominable Inquisitor, the hanging of Dr. Pangloss, the great miserere during which you were flogged, and above all, the kiss you gave me behind a screen when I saw you for the last time. I praised God for bringing you back to me through so many ordeals. I told my old servant to take care of you and bring you here as soon as she could. She carried out my orders very well. I've known the inexpressible joy of seeing you again, of hearing you and talking to you. You must be ravenously hungry. I have a good appetite too, so let's begin by eating supper." They sat down to table together, and after supper they returned to the beautiful couch that has already been mentioned. They were still on it when Don Issachar, one of the masters of the house, arrived. It was the day of the Sabbath. He had come to enjoy his rights and express his tender love. And that's the end of chapter 8, and yet another cliffhanger. Wow. So, Cunegonde has seen through Pangloss's philosophy. And what is going to happen next? One of her lovers, has entered the scene. What will Candide do? What will Cunegonde do? And we will find out tomorrow. I'll see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.